An ancient legend states that with the revival of demon god, 6 heroes, the braves of 6 powers, will be chosen by the goddess of fate, granting them power to rise up against the fiends attempting to turn the world into a living hell. Edlet Meyer, self-proclaimed strongest man in the world, has arrived at the continent of Vienna in hopes of becoming a brave. Although it doesn't go as smoothly as he had planned, Edlet is ultimately chosen as one of the 6 heroes, shortly after being greeted by Nashtenia Loya, Vienna Augustra, Crown Princess and fellow brave. Rokka no Yuusha follows the two as they embark upon their destined journey to fight the demon god, intending to meet up with their fellow heroes at a small temple outside of the land of howling demons, the Fiend's domain. However, when they finally unite, 7 heroes are present, and soon others begin to suspect Edlet to be a fraud. Now on the run, Edlet must utilize his unique skill set and wit in a fight for his life to identify which member of the group is the true imposter before it's too late. In the far future, humans abandon a devastated Earth and travel to outer space. However, due to unknown phenomena that prevents them from traveling into space, humanity returns to Earth only to find it inhospitable except for Japan. To acclimate the entire human population, pocket dimensions are created around Japan to house in the populace. But in the year 1413 of the Testament era, the nations of pocket dimensions invade and conquer Japan, dividing the territory into feudal fiefdoms and forcing the original inhabitants of Japan to leave. It is now the year of 1648 of the Testament era, and refugees of Japan now live in the city-ship Musashi, where it constantly travels around Japan while being watched by the Testament Union, the authority that runs the reenactment of history. However, rumors of an apocalypse and war begin to spread when the Testament stops revealing what happens next after 1648. Taking advantage of this situation, Uri Aoi, head of Musashi Ayada's Academy Supreme Federation and president of the Student Council, leads his fellow classmates to use this opportunity to regain their home. In the newly formed Shiniki district of Tokyo, Zen Seizaki is a diligent public prosecutor assigned to a case involving false advertisement. Zen, along with his assistant officer Atsuhiko Fumio, investigate Japan Superi, a pharmaceutical company that had provided fabricated clinical research on company's new drug. While investigating the file of Shin Inaba, an anesthesiologist connected to the crime, the case takes a dark turn when Zen finds a page stain with a mixture of blood, hair and skin, along with the letter F scribbled all across the sheet. As he investigates further, the case goes beyond Zen's imagination and becomes vastly complex, challenging his sense of justice and his knowledge of truth. Digging deeper into the investigation, Zen begins to uncover a concealed plot behind the ongoing mayoral election and ties to many people of interest involved in the election. The case grows more severe and propels Zen into an unforeseen hurricane of corruption and deceit behind the election, the establishment of Shiniki districts, and the mysterious woman associated with it all. We lay our scene in the Fair Dahlia Academy, where two countries, both alike in dignity, come together, the black doggies of eastern nation of Tawa and white cats of the Principality of West, have a long-standing feud. Romeo Inuzuka and Juliet Persia, leaders of their respective doms, seem to be bitter enemies. In reality, however, Romeo and Juliet are hopelessly in love, but revealing their relationship would call upon the ire of all their comrades. They hide their love to maintain peace, but a clandestine relationship means they miss out on many of the activities couples get to do. As they grow close together, Romeo and Juliet must come to terms with the fact that keeping their relationship a secret may prove to be impossible. As a child living in the town of Lawless, Angelo Lagusa has witnessed a tragedy. His parents and younger brother have been mercilessly slaughtered by Veneti mafia family. Losing everything he holds dear, he leaves both his name and hometown behind, adopting the new identity of Avilio Bruno. 7 years later, Avilio finally has a chance for revenge when he receives a mysterious letter prompting him to return to Lawless. Obliging, he soon encounters the Veneti Don's son, Nero, and seeks to befriend him using the skills he has quietly honed for years. Set during the Prohibition era, 91 Days tells the story of Avilio's dark, blood-stained path to vengeance as he slowly ends each of the men involved in the killing of his family. continent of Atlantis once again finds itself devoured by the flames of war. After a horrific event known as the Great Hall Tragedy, what was supposed to be a joyful occasion that would establish peace between Fantasia Union and Factory Alliance, the ceremony was suddenly interrupted by a powerful convergence of chaos, a dark energy from another dimension that corrupts the land and brings forth monsters and demons. Having failed to prevent this disaster, Siluka Milites, an alliance mage, is traveling through chaos-invested countryside to study under Master Magician. When she is intercepted by a group of soldiers working with the Federation, Siluka is rescued by Theo Cornero, a young warrior carrying a mysterious crest, a magical symbol that gives its wielder the ability to banish chaos. Bearing no allegiance to specific domain, Theo hopes to attain the rank of Lord so that he can liberate his hometown of Sistina from its tyrannical ruler and the chaos spreading within it. Impressed by his noble goal, Siluka enters into a magical contract with Theo, and the two embark on a journey to restore balance of their war-torn land. Shuichi Kagaya is what one would consider an average high school student, but sometimes he turns into a monster. He doesn't know how or why he got his abilities, only that he would prefer no one knows about them until one day the girl he saved from a fire, Claire Aoki, finds him and confronts him about his monster identity. She even goes as far to push him off the school roof to prove her theory after Shuichi denies her allegations. Desperate to save himself, he transforms and Claire snaps a picture in order to blackmail him into telling her everything he knows about the monster, which ironically isn't much. As it turns out, Claire has a secret of her own. She has been searching for her sister, who also became a monster. She enlists Shuichi's help to track her down, but they aren't only the ones searching for answers. Two teenage boys who go by the name 9 and 12 steal a prototype atomic bomb in an apparent terrorist. Later they upload a video onto the internet and threaten to destroy Tokyo City unless a cryptic riddle can be solved. They are survivors of a secret experiment by the Rising Peace Academy to develop orphaned children with Savant syndrome into human weapons. They befriend Lisa, a lonely schoolgirl who becomes caught up in their plan to expose the nefarious activities of the organization. Putting his life on the line, William Smash leaves his loved ones behind and sets out to battle mysterious monsters. And even though he's victorious, he's rendered frozen in ice. William awakens 500 years later only to find himself the sole survivor of his race as mankind is wiped out. Together with other surviving races, William takes refuge on a floating island in the sky, living in fear of the beasts below. Later he finds a job as a weapon storehouse caretaker. Thinking nothing of it, William accepts, but he soon realizes that these weapons are actually a group of young leprechauns. Though they bear resemblance to humans, they have no regard for their own lives, identifying themselves as a mere weapons of war. William becomes something of a father figure for the young, watching over them fondly and supporting them in any way he can. He who once fought so bravely on the front lines can now only hope that the ones being sent to battle return safely from the monster that destroyed his kind. With the new school year comes a new crowd of classmates, and for their final year of junior high, aspiring writer Kotaro Azumi and track team member Akane Mizuno end up in the same class. Though initially complete strangers, few unexpected encounters stir an innocent desire within their heart. Though they find themselves in love with one another, the uncertainty of how the other truly feels, as well as the competing affections of those around them, make them unable to tell each other how they truly feel. Even so, under the shining light of a beautiful full moon, Kotaro gathers his courage to ask Akane a single question, one that forever changes the relationship.